Top 10 Most Optimized Games of 2016 for the PC. Hello friends! We continue our top most optimized games, another list, this time for 2016. 4 of the year was characterized by a complete failure of the developers from supporting low-end and older PCs, so that many fans will not be able to play games our list due to the fact that their workhorse already exhausted, and it's time to replace it with a new one. In addition, the increasing system requirements of modern games is the massive installation of the new Denuvo protection, as well as the developers abandoned the use of old technologies and methods in favor of new, more realistic, and cinematic. Accordingly, the increased loading of the components. In 2016 almost all games are developed only for next-gen, and many developers tend to demonstrate almost completely realistic graphics. Also this year was an interesting reissue. 2 of them even got into our top. What games fall into the article? We are often asked in the comments what do we mean by optimization, and now we will explain how to prepare such articles. Every year we make a list of games released for the PC, and then watch them testing on different hardware. First, we consider the technical state of the game at the time of its release, because it is better the more time the developers spent on catching crashes and artifacts, often directly related to the quality of the PC version. Game bugs which were quickly fixed in the first patch, struggling along with those that came out without any problems. Games that at the time of release or further worked badly, the level of graphics didn't live up to the developers, the graphics did not meet the requirements of time, falling productivity during long-term use, immediately excluded. The remaining in the game thoroughly examines the scaling of performance, how the project reveals the potential of a particular graphics card, CPU, and computer system in general, as productivity rises with the transition to a more advanced architecture. An important advantage may be the presence of a large number of settings, as this end user is able to adjust performance on your system. For example, after working with the settings, sometimes you can greatly increase FPS and almost no lose in picture quality. It is logical that such projects have an advantage. The final list is drawn up in such a way that it was games best scaling its performance, with no failures, FPS with lots of settings, relevant to different systems, powerful and not, both desktop and portable, laptops, ultrabooks, etc. While working on this article, we don't judge on what a game from our list is better than another. As you can see, there's no mystery, and our method is somewhat subjective. So, let's start. Stellaris. We will start with the next creation of the masters of the strategies of different genres of Paradox. Released this year, the 4-dimensional strategy Stellaris allowed to enjoy the opportunity of government on a galactic scale. Her last position in our top locates a number of technical problems that Stellaris was at the start, the decision of which the developers took a lot of time. However, it is understandable this is the first project of such scale for Paradox. But, in contrast to other strategies published in this year, Stellaris demonstrates the excellent optimization so that the game can handle any quad-core CPU 3 to 4 years ago. We should not forget about the presence of a large number of graphics settings noticeably affect the picture quality. For example, loading the graphics card at minimum graphics settings quite insignificant, and the maximum setting is able to provide a mid-range graphics card. TES 5, Skyrim Special Edition. Many did not accept the work of specialists in Bethesda, but it is impossible not to acknowledge the fact that the world was, naturally, back such a great game like Skyrim, top the actual RPG. In our review of TES 5, Skyrim Special Edition, we noted that the developers have added high-resolution textures and support of appropriate monitors, increased density and grass quality trees, more static objects, has been redesigned lighting system and improved animations. It is also important that was improved water effects. For example, the speed of water in rivers and oceans is changing in different places, the liquid does not go over the texture, and smoothly bends around them. Optimization of the Mark Skyrim Special Edition gives almost the same number of frames per second as the original on old computers. And if we talk about the modern PC, it is possible to count on a stable 60 FPS at 4K resolution. Farming Simulator 17. However, 2016 is in the list of well-optimized games can offer not only a bunch of AAA blockbusters and re-releases, but more simple games. Among those were 17 Farming Simulator, the 8th game in the series and the first truly brought to mind. Most importantly, it works well on any old computer or laptop with a dedicated graphics card. Stable maintenance release, eye-pleasing graphics, a huge number of settings, which affect the level of visual quality and the utilization of the computer components, and high performance on older systems. It is that memorable for Farming Simulator 17. Mirror's Edge, Catalyst. One of the finalists for 2016 is Unfinished from DICE in the face of Mirror's Edge, Catalyst. The use of Frostbite 3 has enabled to realize an incredibly beautiful city of mirrors, but for the opportunity to enjoy it will have to pay well. The game is protected by Denuvo anti-tamper, so the barrier to entry high, so in addition to the licensed copy, you will need a modern computer. That Mirror's Edge, Catalyst worked like clockwork. If these conditions are met, the PC version of the game will delight you with a wide range of graphics settings, each of which has a definite influence on the quality of the picture. In fact, you need to get the game up on minimum settings, then you get almost the same impression from the graphics, effects, and reflections in Mirror's Edge, a catalyst that playing on the maximum. For this I have to thank optimization. Need for Speed. Exit PC version of Need for Speed was specially delayed to the developers from Ghost Games was able to improve the graphics capabilities of the project and to optimize. Fortunately, they are really engaged, so we got not only a stable maintenance release, but also detailed arcade race, the visual quality of many aspects of which became comparable to real life. Thanks for this is the latest version of the Frostbite engine called a 3.5. Although the number of settings in Need for Speed are small, they have a definite impact on visual quality, so you will definitely see the difference between minimum and maximum graphics settings. The accompanying image will change the computer startup, but the barrier to entry is quite high and Need for Speed is designed for owners of computers from 2 years ago. Titanfall 2. The source engine is very much alive and Titanfall 2 it shows that can compete with the giants of the industry, giving adequate to the modern level of graphics and optimization. Don't need a huge studio. Of course, if you look at the system requirements, it may be an impression that before us is another powerful and demanding game. But it is not. For each % your system boot you will get a FPS or a clear improvement in visual quality. Titanfall 2 offers a large number of settings, each of which is adequate and necessary, the effect it has on the picture and FPS. Network projected is very important that the selected level of graphics did not affect the quality of gameplay and the sequel, unlike the original, guided by this rule. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare Remastered. The assurances many players, Activision did a good job on the re-release Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, much greater than Bethesda did with Skyrim re-release. And we are not talking about adding new high-resolution textures and development of the system of particles, the appearance of colorful explosions and effects. Everything is much deeper. The authors republishing tried and added many new objects, details in the rooms, and also almost doubled the number of civilian characters on the streets. Improved animation of characters, so that scenes look better than some modern designs. Have redesigned the lighting system, the number of light sources, the improved play of light and shadow, there was soft shadows. Optimization is also at altitude. Re-release Call of Duty, Modern Warfare runs on almost any modern computer in 4K resolution at 60 frames per second or Full HD resolution, but with a stable 144 FPS. The owners of weak machines can play comfortably in the resolution Full HD. The only downside to Call of Duty, Modern Warfare Remastered is its limited distribution. For official possession of this game you need to have Call of Duty, Aerial Warfare, but otherwise the first chapter in the adventures of Captain Price and campaign could take a much higher place in our top. Total War, Warhammer. Our chart, we continue the fresh creation of the Creative Assembly, this time developed in collaboration with Games Workshop. The union of these two companies have marked not only a new direction for the Total War series, but also strengthened the position of the Warhammer franchise in video games. Even action Total War, Warhammer develops in a fantasy setting. The successful experience of the developers with the technical release of Total War, Attila and further refinement of the game engine allowed to release Total War, Warhammer with no problems. And those few that emerged were eliminated in the first patches. The guys from Creative Assembly have worked on optimizing the fan-used computer resources. The quality of the graphics was issued in proportion to the picture, and she along with the effects and clips was pathetic. In the end, despite the fact that all the latest games based on the same engine, Total War, Warhammer the first combines a number of advantages. She has high-quality graphics, and its settings do affect the quality. The difference between low and maximum is huge. CPU and graphics card, RAM, and disk subsystem responds flexibly to the selected setting, allowing Total War, Warhammer is an excellent choice for complex testing of different systems and components. Overwatch, for second and third place, turned a serious struggle, but still project from Blizzard in technical and graphic terms more modest than the next game on the list, so Overwatch is content with third place. Unusual online shooter, more like a torn piece from MMO Titan, memorable players, cartoon graphics and methadone maintenance possibilities, like badminton. Like all games from Blizzard, Overwatch is clear, precise graphic style, but does not possess extreme graphics. This shooter game can be played even by those who have a computer 3 to 4 years ago, the main thing a video card that supports DirectX 11. A large number of graphics settings, both core and optional, have an insignificant impact on the ultimate visual quality. The developers have paid special attention to optimization, and due to the long beta test phase, Overwatch works perfectly on all computers that can run the game. The network portion works flawlessly, so regardless of graphics settings and ping, the gaming experience will not suffer. Doom. Unfinished from ID Software was not quite what he was expecting, but in visual terms Doom came out without any problems, and the new ID Tech 6 engine is able to maximize the performance of each computer. This is made possible through the use of a number of new solutions, such as sparse voxel octadrawing, advanced megatexture, OpenGL support, DirectX 12 and Fukin API. Due to the innovations, Doom looks great, and works even better. The game has received a large number of graphics settings, each of which affects the final visual quality, and proportionally loads the CPU, the graphics card and RAM. We can confidently say that support for different APIs and technologies allows you to use Doom for comprehensive testing of different systems and components. The optimization of the Doom took the developers a lot of time, but the result corresponds to the expended effort. Even the old system, which meets the minimum requirements, give excellent performance and acceptable graphics. As for the shooter, a stable 60 FPS is more important, especially when it comes to heavy scenes with lots of enemies or multiplayer mode. Battlefield 1. A finalist for our chat was the shooter about the First World Battlefield 1. For the first time in many years, DICE is to be congratulated on this success, a stable release of the main franchise, the studio that made her famous. We all remember those assorted problems that was in Battlefield, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and Star Wars. Battlefront can be added to this list. And now, finally, no sudden crashes and bugs, conflicts with Origin, stable working network code without glitches due to the different ping of the players, the performance level of the fourth part with improved graphics. In short, exactly what gamers wanted. Battlefield 1 have a wide range of settings, as the fourth part. In visual terms, as noted above, the difference between the minimum and maximum settings visible in the level of detail, the lighting, and the quality of the shadows. Do not forget about what the scale has Battlefield 1, and that's the only shooter in the world with a similar system of destruction. Thank you for your attention.